There is a moment in many men's lives when they start talking less. Not suddenly, not dramatically, just quietly, shorter answers, longer pauses, more, "I'm fine," and fewer details. For a lot of men, that moment arrives not long after becoming a father. Not because they have nothing to say, but because they suddenly have far more than they know how to say. Today I want to talk about why that happens. Why men go quiet after becoming dads, not because they don't care, but because something internal changes that they were never taught how to describe. 1. The internal shift no one names. Becoming a father is not just an external change. It is not only a baby, a routine, a new responsibility. It is an internal reorganization. Your identity shifts, your priorities rearrange, your sense of self quietly moves around. And that is mentally demanding. But most men were never taught how to talk about internal change. We were taught how to do things, fix things, manage things. We were not taught how to describe transitions. So when fatherhood brings pressure, quiet anxiety, a loss of freedom, a sense of responsibility heavier than expected, or a subtle grief for an old version of yourself, there is no clear language for it. It is just there, and when something is there but unnamed, the natural response is silence. Not because nothing is happening, but because too much is happening without structure. 2. Silence as containment. Silence is often misunderstood. We think it means avoidance, or emotional absence, or indifference, but often silence is containment. It is a man trying to hold something he does not yet understand. After becoming a father, many men feel pressure to provide, pressure to be stable, pressure to not fail. That pressure turns into an internal rule. I should be able to handle this. So when it feels hard, men assume the difficulty is personal, not situational. And instead of speaking outwardly, they turn inward. They manage themselves, monitor themselves, correct themselves, and that internal effort leaves little energy for verbal processing. Talking feels inefficient, messy, risky, so men choose the safest emotional option available. They go quiet. 3. The language gap. Another reason men go quiet is that they lack language that feels safe. If a man says, "I'm sad," he risks sounding weak. If he says, "I'm overwhelmed," he risks sounding incompetent. If he says, "I miss my old life," he risks sounding ungrateful. So the safest sentence becomes, "I'm fine." It is vague. It is acceptable. It ends the conversation. Men do not go quiet because they have nothing inside. They go quiet because what is inside feels socially dangerous to express. 4. Role changes change the inner world. Before fatherhood, emotions were optional. You could ignore them, distract yourself from them, work around them. Fatherhood removes that option, because now your internal state affects someone else. If you are irritable, your family feels it. If you are distracted, your partner feels it. If you are disconnected, your child feels it. So men become more aware of their internal state. But awareness does not equal understanding, and understanding does not equal language. So they feel more, notice more, carry more, and say less. 5. Silence is not lack of care. Silence is often mistaken for emotional absence. But in many cases it is the opposite. Men go quiet because they care. They care about doing it right. Not repeating mistakes. Not failing. Not causing harm. That care is heavy. And heavy things move slowly. Sometimes they stop moving. Not because they are dead, but because they are being held. 6. What helps men speak again? Men do not need pressure to talk. They need safety. They speak when they are not judged, not analyzed, not corrected, not evaluated. Language comes after safety, not before it. A man speaks when silence is no longer the safest place. Closing. If you have gone quiet since becoming a father, you are not broken. You are not failing. You are in the middle of a psychological transition you were never taught how to navigate. Silence is not the problem. Silence is the bridge. And eventually, if the conditions are right, it becomes language.